catch you out. This is the one.
Oh!
Hey, what's up everybody? It's Ben and thanks for watching the Source Skater Studio. I was recently talking with someone on Reddit who told me that after they skate, they get knots in their back and in their calves. So I'm going to make a couple videos about that. And this video here today is about the back knots. So I've got 3 quick exercises for you, which if you include it or all of them in your daily routine, then I think that'll do a lot to help you relieve back knots. And they are all based on twisting. So my instincts tell me that twisting postures, twisting stretches and exercises will be the best thing to help de-knot a back. Although real back health will come from a more holistic program. So, mobilizing your back in several different ways, strengthening the core in several different ways, as well as strengthening the glutes and the legs are all really important for back health. But twisting is really, really awesome for back health too. And like I said, my instincts just tell me that that'll be the best way to address back knots. So to get started, here is the first exercise. So this here is something I'd recommend doing as just a warm-up to a skate session. And you can do it for a minute or 2 minutes, but just standing in one place, keeping your knees or your feet planted on the ground. Just gently twist from side to side and kind of let your arms flail along with your body. And this is a really gentle twist, so we're not pushing our mobility. We're not necessarily trying to stretch or strengthen our back. We're just loosening things up and getting some mobility going. So to show you that from the side, I'm not going super deep into the stretch. My chest starts to face like 90 degrees out to my side at the furthermost point, so it's not like I'm an owl turning myself all the way around or anything crazy. Just a really gentle stretch, doing it for, like I said, maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes to get the back a little loose and get it moving before you start to skate. So I recommend doing that before a skate sesh. It's a good warm-up and it'll just get you started and help you have a better sesh. Now this next exercise here I'd recommend doing as a daily or maybe once every other day strength building routine. So the point is to strengthen the muscles in your core, and it will also involve lower back mobility. So to get started, what you would do is you would lie down on your back and spread your arms out wide like you're going to give someone a big hug. You can draw your knees up so your knees are directly above your hips, and then your calves and your feet go kind of straight out like that. And as you breathe in, bring your legs down to one side. And then when you breathe out, squeeze the core and use the core to guide the legs back to the middle. So then I breathe in, bringing my legs to the other side. Breathe out, squeezing my core, really using my core strength to bring the legs back to the middle. And each time I go down, maybe I go a little further toward the floor. Exhaling, coming back to the middle with the core. Inhaling, going a little further to the floor on the other side. Exhaling, squeezing my core to guide the knees back. Now, one thing you want to avoid is you want to avoid rolling your shoulder up as you go to the side. So, like as I bring my knees to the right, my left shoulder might want to come up. As I bring my knees to the left, my right shoulder might want to come up. And in order to avoid that, you can activate the muscles in your back. You can activate your shoulder muscles a little bit to really press into the ground. But I would recommend, if you find your shoulder coming up, just don't go quite as deep. Maybe you're not ready to come all the way down to the floor, or maybe you barely even come halfway. But just don't push yourself quite so hard if the shoulder is coming off the ground. Just go a little less deep and then really work on using the core muscles throughout the whole time, both bringing your legs over to the side as you inhale and bringing them back to the middle as you exhale. The exhale and coming back to the middle is where the core is really going to work, but you want to keep it engaged at least a little bit the whole time, even as you're moving over to the side and inhaling. And if you're doing this every day or every other day, you're going to be building strength in your core, and it will become easier for you to go further down. So give you just another angle on that. Laying down on the ground. I inhale, bring my legs over to the side. exhale, bring them over to the middle. Inhale over to the side. Exhale, bring them back to the middle. And once again, this is really all about squeezing the core. So you want to feel a good workout. You can maybe do 5 to 10 on each side. And yeah, do that as a daily workout. You build core strength, build lower back mobility. It's going to help out with those knots in the long term, solving the problems that might lead to those knots, like a lack of core strength, lack of core engagement in your movements. And now my last recommendation here is what you should do for a cool down, either after your skate session or before you go to sleep at night. And it's basically the same thing as that strength building exercise, except we're doing a resting static version on the ground. So lying down, I've got both my arms out once again, like I'm going to give someone a big hug. And now I'm just going to bring my knees all the way down to the ground and let them rest there. Here, the left shoulder may be raised a little bit off the ground. That's okay. You also may not be able to get the hips to fully face this way. That's okay, because we're going for a more restful posture here. So now I'm going to rest my right hand on top of my left thigh. And I start just looking up at the ceiling, breathing in slowly in the nose and out the nose. And on each inhale, I think about getting taller, so I'll gently elongate my spine, imagining pushing my head kind of up that way. But that's really gentle. I'm not forcing it at all. And with every exhale, I'm looking for whatever in my body is ready to relax. So my hips, my glutes, my core might be ready to relax, my lower back might be ready, or maybe not. But maybe my shoulders or my neck is ready to relax. So I just look for any part of the body that is ready to let go and chill out a little more. Another thing you can think about doing if you want to make it just a little active is think about pulling your rib cage down toward the ground. So to open the body this way, you engage the core, pull the rib cage down toward the ground. And as you relax more and more, maybe your shoulder will move further toward the ground, or maybe the hips will be able to more fully face in that direction, but you're just letting that happen. And then you would want to do about the same amount of time on the opposite side. So just bringing the legs down toward the left now. I rest the left hand on the right thigh, got my right hand out here. And once again, start by looking up at the ceiling. But if you find yourself relaxing into the posture more and more, you can look at whatever hand is outstretched in this direction. So my legs are over to the left, and I'm looking at my right hand now. You know, if I got to that point before on the other side, my legs would be on the right, and I'd be looking at my left hand. But you can just allow that to happen. If it does, that will deepen the stretch just a little bit. And you can just sit in that stretch for a minute or two on each side. Once again, breathing slowly, relaxing, and just use that as a cool down after your skate sesh or before you go to bed. All right, so those are 3 exercises that will hopefully help you de-knot your back and experience less back knots over time if you're doing them regularly. Once again, my name's Ben, and thank you for watching the Soar Skater Studio, and I'll see you next time.